how we've evoked Illyria and our production of 12th Night very specific. I've taken my lead from the title. The title of 12th Night is the day on the 12th night when everything would be turned topsy-turvy. So masters would become servants and servants would become masters for a night, and it would be a sort of night of misrule, wonderful kind of anarchy at the end of the Christmas holidays, Christmas celebrations. So which suggests that first of all, there's a festive element to it, and secondly, things aren't quite in the right place. For the festive element, I've always been drawn to large country houses and estates for a particular reason, that they create a world within a world. You feel sometimes when you walk through the gates of a manor house, or that you enter another dimension slightly. And we've set 12th Night in our imagined huge stately home, which is the island of Illyria in our heads. And in the West Wing you have Olivia grieving for the death of her brother. In the East Wing you have Toby Belch drinking too much, wishing she'd get over it. And they meet in the middle every now and then and argue. And Feste, the jester, he wanders between the two of them. The emotional currents of 12th Night, as expressed quite often through musical moments you have in the play, are very hard to intellectualise or describe. They're about atmosphere and feeling in the way that music goes beyond intellect. The bit of your brain that's trying to interpret language isn't working, it's free. You're just experiencing something differently. And that creates an atmosphere, and these elements have helped create the atmosphere that's right for 12th Night, which is at the one minute very farcical and boisterous, anarchic, very funny, and on the other hand, full of pathos and melancholy and feeling. And the tone switches quite rapidly from one to the other sometimes. It's a happy ending with a twist. I mean, in a lot of Shakespeare's plays, he explores. He uses the device of twins. And twins, something he understood, I think, firsthand, what it was like to lose a twin. He had twins with his wife, and Hamnet, his son, died when he was 9, I think, or 10 years old, really young. He had a tragic, tragedy. It was very common back then, but still tragic for a father to lose his son that young, particularly one of twins. So it was something very, I've always thought, very close to his heart. So the centre of the story is a shipwreck, twins being separated, and their journey to finding each other. And that's, it's very beautiful when they meet finally. And it is a wonderful happy ending when Olivia realises she can fulfil her love for Cesario with Sebastian, and Orsino realises he can fulfil his love for Cesario through Viola. And in doing that, Shakespeare makes a very interesting comment on gender. And I think it's saying it's not gender that's the issue, it's love that's the issue. Now, love doesn't really pay much attention to gender. We pay attention to gender, but love doesn't. The two things that the play, for me, is about unkindness. And it's about how the only cruelty is unkindness. The only thing we should guard against is unkindness. Antonio says it to Sebastian. There's, I can't remember the exact line, nothing in nature is deformed but the unkind. So what you look like doesn't matter, it's actually how you behave. And the other thing is that the outward show of beauty quite often hides a sort of pollution within. So don't be fooled by appearances. So just because somebody looks beautiful, or looks wonderful, or looks kind, don't be fooled. They might not be. In fact, usually they aren't. And vice versa. If somebody doesn't look like that, don't judge them as being unkind and scary just because they look unkind and scary. So those two things are what humanised the play within the story for me. As a company, we love exploring the comedy rooted in truth, and the characters are so well grounded in Twelfth Night. It's a delight to bring them to life, particularly the drunks. I mean, nobody has ever written drunken people better than Shakespeare in Twelfth Night. I mean, Belch is constantly drunk, and then one scene he's so drunk he can't remember who he is. And you recognise an alcoholic, actually. An Aggie Cheek is drunk most of the time, or half drunk, or nearly drunk, and it's written so perfectly. You feel like he's watched these people in an alehouse in Cheapside, and he knows exactly who they are. And he spent a lot of time drinking after the show, and it's because it's so real and so natural, and it's great fun. It's very rewarding exploring writing like that, because the comedy is never reliant on funny ha-ha. That's always rooted in a truth. There's a depth to the people. But at the same time, it does give you opportunities sometimes where it feels right to decorate. And we do.